I'm going to talk about the intuitive heroine. Like, how do we get our hands on the intuitive heroine so it's not this kind of floaty idea that we can't quite grasp? Then I'm going to take you through some of the pivotal points for me over the last 2 years while the intuitive heroine has been coming into my world. And then there's the invitation for you. 1, 2, 3. So giddy up, let's go. So the intuitive heroine, the easiest way to understand her is to think in archetypes. So we have some established archetypes. We have, for an example, we've got queen and we've got priestess. They're the two that were with me this morning when I was thinking, how am I going to share this? So queen and priestess. And we know that the queen, royalty, inherent power, has others, subjects or others that she is responsible for looking after. You might see her with the crown or the throne. Priestess, connected to intuition, connected to nature, a guide, a source of inspiration. You're picking up what I'm putting down. We've got these archetypes. And the intuitive heroine, she's more than an archetype, but we're just going to get our hands on her by understanding her as an archetype. And she's new. She is one of the new archetypes coming through now because we now, as a collective, are actually we're in a revolution. Things are changing now. 2025 has been the year of change. Things are changing now, which means we are also calling in new ways of being and new archetypes. So that's the intuitive heroine. I'm going to tell you more about the actual details of the intuitive heroine, but that's how I want you to see the intuitive heroine as a full embodiment. So more than an idea, she's a way you can be, right? A way you can be. And the intuitive heroine is connected to her intuition, and she's in heroine status, main character of my story, right? So this is the invitation. The intuitive heroine tells me on Sunday at 4:47, please let me out to play. I am so ready. Stop overthinking it and being so serious, Deb D. Let me out. So she's out, my friends. So in order to understand why she's coming out now and the part to play and what that's got to do with you, I'm going to take you through to some of the key points in the journey for me over the last couple of years, because she's been working her way in for a while now. And it actually began with BeHER, hence the BeHER collective. BeHER, and the invitation to BeHER started with me. I wanted to be her. I wanted to be the woman who I knew I was really backing myself. I was trusting my intuition. I was giving my dreams and my life a red hot go. I wanted to be her. So I started to call it in for myself. I called it in for myself, and then it started to come through my teaching and my writing. I also shared it in my teaching and my writing. And then other women started to begin to be her. It's kind of like the beginning of the birth of the BeHER collective. And so once I had that puzzle piece, here's another little piece for your intuition. When we're given a new vision, the whole vision is there, but we're often given it in puzzle pieces. And please, the invitation is this: when you get a puzzle piece like I did with BeHER, really be with it, get curious about it, get to know it. Because then once you do, you know what puzzle piece fits with that puzzle piece, and you start to put the whole picture together, right? So it begins for me with BeHER, right? Okay, I've got BeHER. And then what happens next is I begin to see the gentle revolution. So the time when it was the strongest, I was actually laying on the grass, on my yoga mat, on the grass, underneath the mango tree. I'm pointing over there because it's right outside my office window, this beautiful mango tree. And I'm laying on the grass and I can see it, the gentle revolution. And the gentle revolution is what's kind of happening now. but there's a particular vibration for the intuitive heroine, which is the gentle revolution. So let's just peel back for a minute and let's talk revolution. You may or may not have got the memo, but we're in the early days of the age of Aquarius. Right? Kind of started to rumble in the 60s, but we're in it now, right? Before the age of Aquarius, we had the age of Pisces. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But we're now in the age of Aquarius, which means things really are changing on a cellular, collective, in all ways change. Because each of these ages, it's more than 2,000 years, right? And so we're in that now, in that revolution, in that change now. And what I saw and continue to see is for women, this opportunity to say yes to the gentle revolution, to be active in the new world that we're creating, but for that to be gentle, for the intuitive wisdom to be the guide, and to also not have to fight, to not have to force. Because we've seen it enough, and we still see it in our world right now. There's a lot of fighting and force. We don't need more of that. The invitation for women is to actually just gently return to our intuitive wisdom and our status as the heroine. More on that later. And then from there, that energy will gently ripple out for the woman, the family, the community, the organizations, and then across the world. It's gentle. So the puzzle pieces, we've got BeHER, like actually reclaim your intuitive wisdom, believe in yourself, give it a red hot go, turn up, and be a part of the gentle revolution. Let go of the fight and just claim your own power. Like it's classic, like call your power back kind of stuff, right? And then the next puzzle piece that I get is actually all about this dominant narrative and this new narrative that's coming in. So the dominant narrative is patriarchy posturing, capitalism. It's also organized religion having a lot of power. It's also money rules. It's, we're all living it. And this is what the age of Pisces has created, right? And so much more. It's not that simple, but this is where we are now. It's the dominant narrative. We cannot deny it. Organized religions, money, and men have had most of the power for generations. Not so good for us as women. Not so good. Which is why we need to reclaim our intuitive wisdom, because that got pushed to the side. We got silenced and shamed. Which is why we also don't need to go into fight against any of these forces. We're just actually being a part of the change in the gentle revolution. And then that's the dominant narrative. But not for much longer, because now we're in what we're creating as the new narrative, the new ways of being, which is the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius, we're already seeing it, right? AI and technology is a part of the age of Aquarius. People power is the age of Aquarius. So let's take those two for a minute. AI and technology. Aquarius is future thinking, forward future thinking. New ways, willing to shake it up and try new things. That's the age of Aquarius. Everything happening around technology and AI, that train has left the station. It is just going to continue. So this is what I saw in the age of Aquarius for women, particularly the intuitive heroine. We come in as the balance point, because Aquarius is also about community, humanity, justice and rights for all. So we're also seeing that with, like, let's just go to the United States with the No Kings protest, 7 million people on the streets, right? And it actually stretched further than the United States. It went to some other countries. And there's other things happening around the world as well, with like the people coming in and saying, well, actually, no. Actually, we want it a different way, which is the beginnings of the revolution, right? And so the intuitive heroine is not fighting the dominant narrative. That's actually just crumbling on its own. The intuitive heroine is weaving the new narrative, and at this balance point of all of this technology and this change. So we've got 3 puzzle pieces: BeHER, gentle revolution, and this kind of shifting narratives. And then what I'm shown next is heroine status, main character status. In order for all of this to make change, we're invited to actually shift into heroine status, main character, because of all of the posturing and the religion and the patriarchy and all of that. Age of Pisces, for women, by default, we have fallen into other roles for most of us. So supporting role, sidekick, for some, victim. And that's been by design. So no shame, no blame about any of that. But what I've seen, particularly in 2025, is it's time to really step into this main character, because as the main character of the story, you're the one who changes the story. And when you change a story, you change the world. Change your story, you change your life. Because that whole age of Pisces, that was all stories that we all started to believe in. Oh, my ear. This is what happens to me when I get an intuitive something. The Bible, the Quran, the Constitution of the United States, all stories. You change your story, you change your world. We change the stories we're tuned into, we change the world. And for women, it's about actually now not only reclaiming our intuitive wisdom and the fact that we want things to be different, but to actually claim it. Main character, one of the major players. And one of the major players. Please say yes to that invitation, because these are the puzzle pieces that we have so far. Choose to be her. Reclaim your intuitive wisdom. Understand that you are in a dominant narrative, but that narrative is shifting, and that you can choose to be a player in the gentle revolution, that you can shift into heroine status to then become the intuitive heroine, the embodiment of that archetype of the woman who knows who the fuck she is no longer silencing her knowing and her wisdom. That's clear, but is also choosing to be a leader, even if it's a leader just in your own world. Whatever that means for you, but choosing main character, leadership, driving stories forward. That's the invitation of the intuitive heroine. And now let me tell you this last piece of what I've seen. What they've shown me more than once is 1 million intuitive heroines globally. In order for this gentle revolution to have these ripples of change, which is not fighting or forcing, but just have this gentle rippling out, they've shown me 1 million intuitive heroines globally. That's the invitation, to be one of the million. And we start there. They've shown me, they're like, here's the energy set point for the intuitive heroine. We want you to get to 1 million, and then we'll tell you some more. So here's the invitation. Be one of the million. Be for yourself the intuitive heroine. And this is the invitation for me. Like, I've just shared with you all the things that I know, but this is what I also know. As somebody who has worked with women for years, worked with my intuition for years, has established community and collaborators and playmates, this new narrative, we're going to be the weavers and creators of that together. So I don't even know what it is. No one actually knows what it is. We haven't been given that information yet because we are weaving it now. So this is an invitation not to like follow Deb D and do whatever she says the intuitive heroine does. It's the invitation to be the intuitive heroine and start to inform not only your story, but all of the stories in the new narrative. To be in the unfolding as I discover more, as you discover more. That's the invitation. That's how we get to 1 million intuitive heroines. You picking up what I'm putting down? I really hope so, because you are invited by me and also by Sunday at 4:47 a.m. when they said, you are so ready, please stop delaying this and just go for it. Please share, invite them on the journey. So this is your invitation to join me on the journey of the unfolding of the intuitive heroine. And the ways that I'll be doing that, so if you're here with me live now on Substack, then there's going to be a lot happening on Substack. This is going to be my digital home for the intuitive heroine. I'm going to be sharing stories in 2026. There's going to be a podcast. There's going to be so much happening here. This is the creative digital home. Also sharing it through the BeHER Collective and my email list. So you may want to join the email list. And I really do invite you to share with me where you are on your journey or how you might want to connect with your journey. For I have some ways that you can play coming up. We're going to have an event in December, an event in January, intuition activation in February, all of these ways that this invitation is going to come out and embodied for women. And the first couple of events, they're going to be global, not time zone bound. They're going to be global and they're going to be pay as you can, because I want to give access to as many women as possible to start to tune in for themselves. What's going on with me? What's good for me? What choices am I going to make as I finish 2025 and as I start 2026? Because we are in the revolution now, my friends. This is the weaving of the new narrative, and you're invited to be a weaver, to be a magic weaver, to choose yourself and to join me and the intuitive heroines across the world on the journey. Please let me know what's resonating, if you have any curiosities, if the intuitive heroine has come to you, maybe at 4:47 on a Sunday. I am absolutely delighted to invite anyone and everyone who feels a connection to the intuitive heroine and can intuitively sense, that's me. That's me. Because we need you all now, and you are welcome, and I am so pleased that you are here. Big love, everybody. See you on the journey of the intuitive heroine.